I'm Rusty Komori, and this is Beyond the Lines on ThinkTech Hawaii. I was the head coach of the Punahou boys varsity tennis team for 22 years, and we were fortunate to win 22 consecutive state championships. This show is based on my books, Beyond the Lines and Beyond the Game, and it's about leadership, character, and creating a superior culture of excellence. My special guest today is the highly respected leader and general manager of Watanabe Floral. He is Monty Pereira, and today we are going beyond flowers. Hey, Monty, welcome to Beyond the Lines.
Hey, it's exciting for me to be here today, Rusty. I'm looking forward to it.
Monty, you've been on so many TV commercials promoting Watanabe Floral, and I'm so excited for people to really get to know you. Can you share a bit about your background?
Sure. I'm born and raised in Hilo. I'm a Hilo boy. I came here to the University of Hawaii to study business. I'm an accounting major here, began working in the public accounting field for a few years, passed my CPA exam, and then realized after I got to Watanabe Floral to be the accountant, that accounting is great knowledge to have, especially in the business world, but it didn't really fit my personality. And slowly I evolved. I became the commercial manager, then sales and marketing director, and then a few years later picked up the title of general manager. So it's been a whirlwind, but Hilo boy, now here in Honolulu.
Well, Monty, can you share about why Watanabe Floral has such a special legacy?
Well, we're going on our 77th year now, and it all goes back to Mr. and Mrs. Watanabe and how they created and founded this company. Real quick story. Mr. Watanabe was deployed in Australia during World War II as a translator for the United States Army, and figured that everyone was going to want to get married just like him when he came back. So he started growing roses right outside his barracks, and then took that when he came back and created Watanabe Floral. But from the very beginning to where we are now, the whole company was founded on a premise of our mission and values. So our mission is a ho'omaupono, meaning to continue to last, to be willing to change, but always doing things with morality. Our values of the spirit of aloha, we expect to treat our guests and each other with that aloha spirit. We focus on people first, meaning being selfless in our thoughts and our actions, and exceptional service. Good and great are not good enough. We strive for excellence in everything that we do. So I think living those values on a daily basis for 77 years has allowed Watanabe Floral to stand that test of time.
You see, Monty, that's why we get along so great, because you're always striving for that superior culture of excellence. And that's what I love. I want every person, every business, every sports team to do that. And Monty, where do you guys get all your fresh cut flowers from?
I think most people in Hawaii don't realize that the majority of flowers in the state come from outside the state. In fact, outside the country. Maybe around 10% of the flowers that we use come from the state of Hawaii or are grown in the state of Hawaii, which is sad because it never used to be that way. But as time goes on, more and more farms are scaling back here locally. So the majority of the flowers in the country, including Hawaii, come from South America, believe it or not. The hubs are Colombia and Ecuador, and they enter the country through Miami, and that's what you see most of in the state is flowers from South America.
That's pretty interesting. I would assume that a lot of flowers would be locally grown, but you guys are the largest wholesale retailer, right?
Yes, we are. We're a vertically integrated company. So we do traditional wholesale, we do traditional retail. We also work with mass market companies as well. So we kind of do everything. And we're very proud that this location, our main showroom on Nimitz, is one of the biggest standalone floral operations in the country. And that's something that we're very proud of. And we thank the people of Hawaii for helping us achieve that.
Monty, tell me about some of the creative floral arrangements that you offer.
Well, we do things for all occasions. So no matter what you need flowers for, we can go ahead and help you with. And we try to be creative. What you see on the screen now is something that we would do for a grand opening or for a major event. And then we also like to do things that are fun. So you're going to see our Doggy Delight. That's what that is now. It is so popular amongst people, especially those that are dog lovers. It just brings a smile. And that's the beauty of our business. Everything that we do is intended to bring happiness and joy to other people. So it's an exciting industry to be a part of.
Well, you guys are so awesome at what you do and what you offer. And tell me about why the Hakule is so popular as well.
Well, I think the the lepo'o or haku has a cultural significance. It always has, but it is really surging in popularity right now. I think it was always popular amongst female, but now it's popular, almost as popular for males as they are female. So it's a culturally accepted thing. It's something that's really beautiful around your head. And it doesn't take up too much space around your neck. So it's something that has grown in popularity, and we continue to see, and we don't expect that to change anytime soon.
What kind of occasions do you see that a lot of people are purchasing Hakule for?
Well, of course, graduation is where you're going to see the most of those, but now you see them for every occasion. I mean, senior days, almost always you see everyone wearing a Hakule at their senior day in high school or even in college. You get them for baby showers, you get them for, retirements, birthdays, anniversaries, you name it, whatever occasion there is, it's something that has become even more popular than the traditional lei in some cases.
Oh, that's absolutely great, Monty. And you guys also offer a variety of beautiful sympathy arrangements. Can you tell me more about that?
Sure. I mean, we make it a point to have a wide variety of options. You have your podium type pieces, you have sprays, and then you have these big wreaths that you see on the screen. We really view the opportunity to help a family with their celebrations of life as a true blessing, because we have that last opportunity to show respect and love and compassion for a lost loved one. And so that's something that we really, really take pride in, and we do everything that we can to make sure that that last celebration of life is a special one for the ohana.
Monty, I was with you last month in your store, in your showrooms, and you guys offer so many more things than just flowers. Can you share about what you guys offer as well?
Yeah, I think in general, the floral industry has changed so much. I mean, before, if you wanted flowers, when we were growing up, Rusty, if you wanted flowers, you went to a flower shop. Now flowers are available literally everywhere, every supermarket, every discount store, everywhere you can get flowers. So to survive and to be able to adapt, you have to do different things. So we've brought in all kinds of giftware, things that are relatable to the floral industry, dealing with the same demographic, but you're having to constantly change. And the most recent thing that we did was during COVID, when we kept getting shut down as an industry, we made the decision that, hey, if the only way to stay open is to carry fresh food, that's what we're going to do. So we registered with the state as a food provider, and we now carry fresh fruits in the store, as well as collaborating with many local providers of local chips, local candies, etc. Because one thing that we learned through COVID, collaboration over competition helps everyone survive.
Monty, I heard about stories about the marathon that was coming through on Nimitz, where you're located. What would you do with a lot of the marathon runners?
Well, that's the Great Aloha Run, and that's coming up next week, Monday. And so we have become the flower zone, or known as the flower zone. What really started as we had excess flowers after Valentine's Day one day, like 10, 12 years ago. So we took those flowers, my staff went out on the street on Nimitz, and as people walked by, we just passed them out flowers. And it became such a hit that we're now an official part of the race. And so we'll be doing that again next week when the Great Aloha Run passes by Watanabe Floral on Nimitz.
I love it. That's so creative to do that. And Monty, you have both of my books. You're such a great leader. What are some things that stood out to you in the books?
Well, I think the first thing that really stood out is the focus of how the book starts. It's all about character, and that focus on developing better people. I think it really starts there. And then you expand on that with your 4 Ps, where it starts with people, and then you have the purpose, and then you have the process in order to get the performance. But I have that strong belief, like you do, that it really starts with the person, and then developing the person, the entire person, helps lead to the other parts of the success. But without focusing on the people first, it's very hard to accomplish the back end of the 4P. So that really, really stood out to me. And then I love the use of stories to hammer in the points, because I'm a visual person and I can totally relate to your players and how you use their stories to tie the point. And it just resonated with me. I really enjoyed that part.
Oh, Monty, that's great to hear. And I love how you brought up the 4Ps and people. And I met some of your team members there when I came to visit. And how many employees do you have? And what do you look for when hiring someone?
Well, we have 80 employees at any one time, maybe around 50 in the building at one time, but we have around 80. So in an ideal world where you actually got to pick who you want, and you had a lot of people looking for jobs, we're always looking, to me, I look for personality first, because when you have the right person with the right personality and the right ethics and the right values, you can teach them skills. So it's much more important to focus on the person and what makes them special, and then be able to teach them what they need to do to be successful, than it is to find someone that has technical skills but doesn't align with our values and the way we want to do things. So I definitely focus on personality and their values, and do they fit the Watanabe Floral values.
And Monty, tell me about the various roles that your team members play.
I don't think people realize that when you place an order, how many different departments it actually touches. We have a buying team that are sourcing products literally from around the globe, Rusty. Only Antarctica do we not get flowers from, and that includes Africa at times. But then we have a receiving team that has to pick up the freight, and they're so important because they need to get the flowers back in refrigeration and in water as quickly as possible so they last a long time. We have an operational team that processes every stem to make sure that it's in great condition for the people who are buying them. We have a design team. We have 12 designers that are the ones creating these beautiful arrangements that we get to share with the public. And then we have a delivery team that, for many people, they are Watanabe Floral because they're the only person that they actually see, the person that's actually giving them the flowers. That's our delivery team. And then, of course, it all starts on our sales floor with our sales team that are tasked with the job of making sure that they do everything they can to bring happiness to the person.
And Monty, Watanabe Floral has been such a huge community supporter for many, many, many years. You guys have donated to Make-A-Wish. You have donated to Alzheimer's. You've donated to Child and Family Services. Tell me about the variety of organizations and just the various ways that you support our community.
Started when Mr. and Mrs. Watanabe were still daily running the store. They always believed, and this has never left us, that we don't want any flower to go to waste. So if we're unable to sell it, then we want to get into the hands of charitable organizations. So from the very beginning, we donate to Tripler, we donate to the women's prison, we donate to other old folks' homes or assisted living facilities where the flowers can have prolonged life, making people happy. And then we've kind of expanded that recently by partnering with various organizations. We used to do one big fundraiser a year. That was in the month of May, which is the Make-A-Wish one that you see. But as we began to realize that we can do more, we started to add more. So we did 3 major fundraisers last year, as you alluded to. We're all set to do the Women's Fund in March of this year, and we are intent on doing 5 major fundraisers this year, doing everything that we can to give back to the community, because there is so much need out there, Rusty, and we take pride in the ability to help lead and encourage others to do for other people.
Well, that's absolutely super great of you. And Monty, can you share about your KITV event?
Well, we believe that it's so important to have a good relationship with the media. And so the event that you're alluding to is an event that KITV actually had, that they brought in some of their partners. And then we went there and enjoyed a nice lunch with them. The people there are wonderful. But we've worked with a number of them. We did something with KHON for Helping Hands Hawaii, where we used our facility as a drop-off point for donated furniture. So we're constantly looking for ways to partner with the media and to do things together because they have the reach to let people know what we can do for other people.
Monty, what are some of the big challenges that you deal with as general manager?
Well, of course, the finding people is a challenge, but I think the biggest challenge in our industry, in the floral industry, is the fact that we're dealing with perishable product. And most of this perishable product, as we talked about, is coming from out of the country even. So there's so many things that can go wrong. Bad weather, like in California recently, wiping out crops there, logistical issues when the airlines are having struggles, or when the airline is full, they bump the flowers off the plane. So there's so many things that can be logistically complicated to execute. And even if everything goes perfect and you get the flowers here in good condition, you only have a 5-day window to move it before they turn bad. So there's so many things that can go wrong. But at the end of the day, we have the blessing of making people happy. So it's all worth it.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up just to highlight how difficult it is to really have the flowers here in front of us and be fresh. I mean, it takes a while for that to happen. And Monty, what are some of the big the things that you focus on as priorities as general manager?
It's people. So internally and externally. Internally, it's making sure we do everything to coach up every single team member, from the newest person to the most experienced person, making sure that they're all aligned with the values that we have, and just making sure that we do what we can to make them the best version of themselves. If we do that, the company is going to be fine. And then externally, what can we do for our guests? Always asking, how can we get them something better, quicker, in better quality, at a cheaper price? So you're always focused on people and making their lives better, both internally and externally. And when you do that, I think good things happen.
You see, Monty, that's why Watanabe Floral is successful. I mean, I love hearing these insights from you. And Monty, what do you feel are some things that the greatest leaders do?
They listen. I think the greatest leaders are not afraid to hear even criticism. They're humble enough to understand that we are all imperfect human beings and we can all do things better. So they're good listeners first, and they take that information and they're able to decipher the information and then formulate a plan to attack whatever that is that they found in terms of feedback. So I always view feedback as a positive thing. Most of the Yelp reviews we get are positive, but sometimes they're not. And I relish those because it's an opportunity for us to get better. So feedback, good or bad, I think is a good thing if you're truly interested in doing what's best for everyone. So leaders have to be humble enough to hear feedback, good or bad, and then be able to take that feedback and to act on it in a positive way.
Oh, I love that you brought that up about listening and getting the honest feedback, because that's how you know the vibe and pulse of what you're doing and if it's actually working and resonating with your customers. And Monty, how would you describe your leadership style?
Well, I think you can tell I'm a very positive, a very high energy type person. So I try to lead that way. I try to create a culture and an environment that's positive, that you want to be a part of. You enjoy being here. So just fostering that love and that total focus on making other people better. So I try to create that culture of just happiness, excitement, positivity. And I think that resonates with people if you're able to use that positive energy and combine that with systems that allow us to be successful. So that's kind of my personality. I kind of lead with my personality, and then we go from there.
Oh, that is definitely spot on, Monty. I mean, you are such a positive leader. You exude positive energy. I love it. And Monty, can you share an impactful story, a meaningful story that you've seen throughout the years, maybe that really stood out to you in your business?
Well, I think at Watanabe Floral, one thing when I started almost 25 years ago, there was an instance where Mrs. Watanabe, we sold some roses to a customer. They went to Ala Moana. They left their flowers in the car all day long. When they came back to the car, you could see that it had been overheated and it had died. They came back to the store and they're like, the flowers died. We knew what had happened, but she was like, no problem at all. Give me those dead roses. I'll replace it for you. And that really resonated with me. And to this day, I use that story to a lot of our team members. Sometimes people take advantage of you in any type of business. And I try to teach them it's always the right thing to do the right thing. And sometimes you're going to get taken advantage of, but it's okay, because if you continue to do the right thing, you'll be fine and the company will be fine. And I use that example that Mrs. Watanabe set when I first got here as a training tool for everyone. So that has resonated with me ever since I started, and I use that all the time.
Oh, I love hearing that. Yeah, you're right. I mean, there's never a wrong time to do the right thing. I completely agree. And Monty, what would you say is the best advice you ever received?
I think it goes back to my uncle. Probably had the biggest impact on me professionally, not in this field, but just the way he was a drama teacher. He was a theater person, and he impacted so many lives. And he always used to say, we have in every relationship, in every interaction, we can make the conscious decision to find the best in them or the worst in them. Always choose the best in them. So I kind of do that. Every time I interact with somebody, I choose to find their strengths. I choose to find what they do well and focus on that as we work on their weaknesses if they're internal. But it's, you have that choice to really choose to be a positive person and see the good in everyone. And that's something that has resonated with me that I try to do on a daily basis.
Monty, every successful team, they're never complacent. They're always taking calculated risks. How important is it for you to keep taking calculated risks in your business?
I think it's very important. And I think with technology now, these risks, these changes come much more frequently and much quicker. And I think those that are flexible enough to pivot on a dime and to do things that are outside the box, like selling fresh food in the store, I think it's important. I think you have to be willing to take risks, but not foolish risks. It has to be calculated risks where you understand what the possible outcomes could be. But yeah, you cannot stand still. You cannot stay the same, because it goes back to our whole mission, e ho'omaupono, to be willing to change and to continue to last. And those that stay grounded and are unwilling to change get left behind. And we've seen that a lot in our industry here in Hawaii.
Monty, I want to ask you a personal question about mindset. When you wake up in the morning, how do you get yourself into that right mindset? And what is your mindset like when you first wake up in the morning?
Well, it's a new day, so once that alarm goes off, you jump out of bed. I think that's the first thing. My wife and I start listening to music right away, something that's positive and uplifting kind of a music to get you going in the right direction. And then I actually read some positive affirmational type verses first thing in the morning. So right from the start, you're getting your mind used to choosing to have a positive day. And it works. And then when I get to work, is trying to create that positivity immediately, because nothing's worse than when the boss walks in grouchy. It ruins everybody's entire day. The reverse can be true as well. When you walk in with that right mindset and right attitude, you can change everyone's mindset for the rest of the day.
Yeah, nobody likes a grumpy boss.
That's for sure.
And Monty, what would you say is a valuable lesson you learned in life so far?
I think always be humble, always focus on doing the right thing, always choose to be the best version of yourself, and never judge other people. We are all imperfect, as I talked about earlier. So always try to work on yourself first, and always try to drag as many people along as you can. And then together we can try to make a big impact on society.
Monty, I have to say that you are a fantastic role model as a leader, and you are somebody that definitely goes beyond the lines. And I really want to thank you for taking time to join me on the show today.
Oh, I appreciate it very much, Rusty. I love what you do. You keep doing what you do.
Thank you, Monty.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching Beyond the Lines on ThinkTech Hawaii. For more information, please visit rustykomori.com, and my books are available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. I hope that Monty and I will inspire you to create your own superior culture of excellence and to find your greatness and help others find theirs. Aloha.
Thank you so much for watching ThinkTech Hawaii. If you like what we do, please like us and click the subscribe button on YouTube and the follow button on Vimeo. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and donate to us at thinktechhawaii.com. Mahalo.